As it stands right now, the Giants have the number 1 overall pick. As it stands at this very moment, the New York Giants have the number 1 overall pick. Should the Giants, if they do, finish the year with that pick, should they draft Mendoza with that pick? Then the result of that would be trading Jaxson Dart. Or do you trade down, you get a king's ransom for that pick, and you build around Jaxson Dart? You guys let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Should the Giants trade Jaxson Dart? Dart under Dable looked really good. The concussion stuff scares the crap out of me because it's like, man, what's the shelf life on this kid? How long is he going to last? Because it's been rough. It's been a rough year for him when it comes to that. It's been a really rough year for him. But there have been times when he's looked really great. And I believe in Jaxson Dart. In fact, I'm not in the camp that wants to trade Jaxson Dart. I don't think that's the move. I think the move is to build around him. I truly do. Now, if you get another GM in here who says, hey, we have the number 1 overall pick, I could draft the quarterback that I believe in Mendoza. So I'm going to do that. I'm just not sure that's the way to go. But here's the kicker that I don't think anybody's really thinking about. If you were to trade away Jaxson Dart, that might net you a first-round draft pick or 2. It might. Because there's no way you're drafting Mendoza than having Dart either sit behind him. You're just not doing that. Or Dart start ahead of him. You're not doing that. You're going to try to get assets to improve your team further. And you would do that by trading Jaxson Dart if you took Mendoza with the number 1 overall pick. I just think you could get more for that number 1 overall pick than what you could get for Dart, because Dart is viewed as a little bit of a risk, just the way how he plays. The concussions. Him being in concussion protocol, him being in that tent all the time scares the crap out of me. It's like, man, I want to be able to watch Jaxson Dart someday play his entire career with the New York Giants. I want to be able to say Jaxson Dart was one of the best Giant quarterbacks that we've ever seen. That's what I want to say at the end of this kid's career. I don't want him getting concussion after concussion, having to go to the blue tent 10 times, 15, 20 times in a season because they think his balls are loose up there. I want this kid to be okay. If you could bring in a coach that could coach that into him, obviously that's ideal. But on the flip side, if you trade him and you get a lot for him, because I think you can. I think you could get a lot if that's the road that you want to take. If that's the road that a general manager wants to take. I'm not saying it's the right mode. I'm not saying it's the right road to take. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is don't think that if they draft Mendoza with the number 1 pick in the draft, if the Giants are blessed enough to even get the number 1 pick, right now they're like the 4th or 5th team likely to get that pick. So if the Giants lose out, they'll get the pick. You would think anyway. With this strength of schedule stuff, it's freaking crazy. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, you don't trade Jaxson Dart. If anything, a head coach, a free agent head coach, is going to salivate at the idea of having a guy like Dart on their team. They're just going to coach it into him like, hey, man, you don't run like Evel Knievel. That's not who you are. You can't be that. Maybe that is who you are, but you can't be that. We can't afford for you to be that. I think it's just a matter of that. It's just a matter of what the next general manager is going to think, how the next general manager is going to feel. Because I don't think Joe Schoen is lasting. I really don't. I don't think he's lasting. Now, maybe Mara, and God bless him, I hope he's doing okay. Maybe the Maras are saying, hey, you know what? We're just going to wait it out. We're not going to bring anybody else in. We're just going to wait it out, see what happens the rest of the season, and then move on from Joe after the year. Because what's the point? What's the point in bringing in a general manager with 3 games left at this point? Bringing in a brand new one. Like, what's the point? There is no point. The Giants made changes really late. And that's because Joe Schoen was trying to hold on to his job. And it's not a pretty season. It was not far from it. And I think Brian Daboll is actually a good coach. I think he was really good for Jaxson Dart. Maybe that recklessness that Dart plays with needed to calm down, and it needs to calm down. But I felt like Daboll got his guy. And when Dart was on the field, Dart looked good. And Dart doesn't even have the best player on the Giants on the field. That's Malik Neighbors. He's not even there right now. Imagine Neighbors. Imagine if he was available. Imagine if he was healthy enough to play alongside Jaxson Dart. Imagine the kind of year Dart would have had with a weapon like that. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think it makes any sense in the world for the Giants to move on from the number 1 overall pick and just accumulate a bunch of assets? Or do you think it makes more sense to trade Jaxson Dart, probably get less assets than you would get for the number 1 overall pick? But do you think it makes sense if a general manager wants his own QB? In my opinion, you have a very young quarterback in Jaxson Dart. If you coach him the right way, he's going to be really good. And we've seen him play. He's going to be really good. I want to see him be the franchise of the New York Giants. That's what I want to see. Will it happen? I don't know. But you let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.